Question is about according to the beliefs of the Ahmadis, what is the Messiah, and especially why is he called Son of Mary?
That's right.
And is he related to the Messiah Jesus, Son of Mary, a relation of blood, or is he the same Jesus? The second question is that she believes that Jesus will come after the Dajjal. With the same teachings of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And the question is that she believes that he will come as a ruler and not as a prophet. So who is the Dajjal, and how can we explain those concepts? The third question is about the same verse, وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ. And I think it has been already explained.
So let's remain confined to the first two questions.
Yes.
Now repeat the first.
The first is about the concept of the Messiah and why is he called the Son of Mary?
The simple answer is that Messiah also claimed that he would come again. And all the Christians are awaiting his de-advent. Now, if a reference was not given to that person particularly, that the Messiah to come would fulfill that prophecy as well, then the message will remain obscure. So when Hadhrat Muhammad ﷺ claimed that a Messiah would come, to identify that Messiah with the first Messiah, it was essential that his full name be given. Otherwise, people could think that Messiah was Ibn Maryam, this is a different Messiah. Rasulullah was talking of a different Messiah. Messiah himself was talking of his own advent, which is not yet fulfilled. So it was essential to fix the identity of the Messiah, so there is no confusion between the two prophecies. The same person is being talked about by Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah as claimed himself that he would come again. This could only happen if his full name was given as Messiah, Son of Mary. Secondly, there is other more refined meaning, more spiritual meaning, which is related to a verse of the Holy Quran, which says that every believer, all believers, have to be like either the wife of Pharaoh or like Mary. This is the example of the believers given in the Holy Quran. And when it speaks of believers, they should imitate either the wife of Pharaoh or Mary. Immediately after that, Allah says that the Mary we are talking about was the one who was chaste, who took good care of her chastity. And the son born to her, was not an illegitimate child. It was a son born out of special favor of Allah. So far, we understand there is nothing very special about it, because this has been said elsewhere also in the Quran, that in Mary we breathed our spirit. The Holy Quran says, وَنَفَخْنَا فِيهَا مِن رُوحِنَا. In her did we breathe our spirit. But here, when Mu'mineen are likened unto Mary, when the question of breathing the spirit arises, then the Holy Quran doesn't say that we breathed our spirit into her. It says we breathed our spirit into him, which means there is a believer, a specific believer, who likened himself unto a Mary so much that a spiritual son was born out of him, as if a son was delivered to Mary with the Spirit of Allah. So also in future, a new son of Mary would be born, spiritually, not physically, out of a believer who would liken himself unto Mary, who would have no wish to rise in status in any sort, who would be a humble person, who would not desire designations of any sort from Allah, yet because he would be chaste, he would guard his ambitions. So God would breathe into him. And when God breathes into him, a son of Mary is born. So the new status of the person from the Ummah is described in a beautiful way in spiritual terms. So that is why also it was essential for Rasulullah ﷺ to describe the future advent of that of son of Mary. Because he would also be born spiritually like a son was born unto Mary. That is the underlying significance.